Well, Mick White around again in the old time of the D53 there in the spectator lane. 10.37, 133 miles an hour for him. And a man all the way from Germany this weekend. Tony Chunky Morris in the 10,000 RPM sponsored little T-body car. Tony got a 331 Chevy. Runs that injected methanol plus nitrous, so really does throw a lot of stuff at that engine, but it does produce the results. 8.50 over in Germany last year, and has done very, very well with that car indeed.
Well, originally came from Kidderminster in England, Tony, and moved out with his dad. They run a speed shop out there in West Germany, and that's now the centre of his racing operation. Took over the driving of this car a few years ago now. Dave Gibbons, of course, the man out the front there, just guiding the car back. Just an interesting little thing about Dave Gibbons, of course. He went out and worked for Jim Head in the States for about a year. Do you remember that when Dave went out there? And we used to get postcards from all over America saying, I don't see any of America, all I see is the inside of the big 18-wheeler, because that's where he did all the work. He was mechanicking for Jim Head. But quite an experience for him. So it's Mick White and Chunky Morris then, Dragster against Comp Autos.
Man on Friday. Not doing too badly. 9.48. That's the best run he's put in this weekend. That's been timed 138 miles an hour. That will move him up into the number 3 spot. 9.48. 10.27 for Mick White. 132 miles an hour.
And that was his best time.
So good for them.
Well, this is a machine for winning. Good old commentator's curse on it.
I really did, and I hope I don't do it again. Jim and the crew worked very hard. Came out yesterday and really put in a fine burnout. Went for a real good hard launch, Alan Packman, with the Pac-Man car. And a little technical bit of stuff. What he's got a trans brake that is actuated by a button on the dashboard, as is his two-stage nitrous system. And what he does is, as he leaves the start line, releases that button and unleashes an awful lot of horsepower. Yesterday, he stripped every tooth off the ring gear and pinion trying that. He said today that he doesn't think he'll try it that way again.
Sounds like a sensible idea. Alan Packman, of course, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, made his way up through the ranks and indeed had a very, very quick Cobra that he used to enter in a lot of street racing events, which you saw quite a lot of. And I saw him once or twice, and one of the few men who, on an equal footing, who managed to beat Steve Green with his Rover Power 1.1
That was a very quick car, that Cobra, and of course he used that experience to good benefit, and that's totally home-built operation. The engine side of things, he's very, very proud of the car, and they've got great plans in the future, but very methodical in his approach, going to build up things slowly. Alan Packman, I'm sure him and the crew are grateful to get through the quarter mile in one piece, but maybe just improve a little bit, and he's not run a bad time here. 10.64, 120 miles an hour, puts him straight to the top of the pile in our second class of competition cars.
And Mrs. Susie was going through their 12.56 at 106 miles per hour. That's certainly slower than her preceding qualifying time. She had run 11.90 at 115. But great to see that nice car of Alan Packman back out and running again after such a disaster yesterday afternoon.
Ray Barrow out through the far side into the third car today. And Ray at the moment, all the buttons are all down to the track, 128 miles an hour. Very good. Improve on that one. Right, in the pit lane, there's the Snapdragon Auction. And managed 10.84. The man from down Eastbourne Way, sponsored by the Eastbourne Health Authority and Stonecross Nursery.
Whether that's his prescription over there.
Ray Barrow, a little quite hot up to the line. The nice hot. Really consistent with this car. Always in the last couple of frames of an elimination. Right, we're looking to improve on that time, 10.47. Leads him comfortably close to the second class in our racing, so I'd like to consolidate into this your extra car forward in the stage. Not much to do, about a third.
That time around, 10.50, 101.9 miles per hour. And let's have a look at Ivan Birch, 10.75. So he's a little bit quicker, 10.75, 124 miles per hour.
That puts him in number 3 spot in our second eliminator.
Well, this is Carl Wilkinson coming back round again in the future Force car. This is the man we were talking about a little bit earlier on. He's done a lot of homework on this machine and has gone out and got himself quite a bit of sponsorship, running with a fiberglass Fiat Topolino body and a small block Chevrolet engine, 302 cubic inches of V8 Chevrolet power, just running normally aspirated with petrol. And young Carl comes from
Marcel in the low buck special over in the spectator lane. He's run 10.27 so far this weekend, 131 miles an hour. He is meant to be appearing in our top comp eliminator. I should imagine he's going to be put into super comp. We'll take word on that and see where he's going to be played. So that of course is the old Ivan Birch car. Chris Marcel has done a lot of work on it over the last couple of years. 402 cubic inch Chevy, carburetted, petrol plus nitrous oxide, sponsored by chloride battery. So both our cars edging forward into the stage. Has had a fair measure of success for that car. I think it's fair to say more success since it's changed over to the Chevy from the Jag. Ran earlier on this morning. Not far off of that stuff there, 10.34 at 134.5 miles an hour for Chris Marcel.
Sponsored by chloride batteries. This is Chris Marcel. Let's have a quick look and see if we get a time to speak for Carl Wilkinson as they come through on the old and comp car. Well, Chris Johnson's back round again in the Upshirage. Here comes that time Carl Wilkinson, 11.07 was his time, 125 miles per hour. He's now in the number 1.
Well, over on the far lane there, this man. A new coat of paint on the car this year. Looks as though it may have a sponsored name on it shortly. That's Ivor Rossi with the Alien. That car has got some wild tendencies. I think Ivor refers to this as not always as consistent as you'd like it. When it does all come together, that car is taking a 9-second performer. He has actually run 9.29 at 105 miles an hour.
Well, that's some guy, isn't it? Here's Topolino body, of course. Chassis made by Mick Saunders sometime in the late 70s and running with a 304 cubic inch Chevy power plant, running on methanol and nitrous oxide injected. So there you are. Sponsored by Burnham Autos and the Custom Chevy. So his crew team is sponsored by old mate Roger Hallsmith. I've seen out there around somewhere maybe in the towboat or something like that. So he's managing to get all my cars working. That's a job in itself.
Does blow out the field now, splits it wide open, 9.85, 139 miles an hour for Ivan Rossi. That's put him in the number 4 spot. and moves Ray Barrow down into second eliminator.
11.22 for Chris Johnson, 130 miles an hour. Have a quick look to see whether that doesn't affect him at all. His position time is 11.12. So he stays exactly where he was. But it looks at the moment like the number one is Barry Giles, Brian Thomas. Coming to Morris Ivor Robbie, Seth Miller, Bob Mack, Martin Brown,
out there now, and he's realising he has young company sitting on that bump spot. He's looking to run a little bit quicker, I'm sure. I'm hoping he's going to run a 9.96. The car's certainly got it in it. Neil Ryder in the Moonshine Corvette altered over on the spectator side.
Well, that's Martin Brown closest to the control tower. If you remember, he got pushed back behind and had some problems on the start line with this newly imported car from the States. And back out to see whether he can improve his position. He's sitting in number 7 position at the moment, in the top 8, just in front of Mick White. And be interested to see how he fares on this run. And the very recognises these things, whereas ordinary talkers do not.
So Martin Brown, well, just a thousandth of a second quicker, 10.13. And that ties him up very much with Bob Batt, 10.13, 113, good run for him. And Neil Ryder getting quicker every time, 12.98 at 101.
Oh yes, it still doesn't get him into the top 16 though, Steve. It's still outside of there, but we've got quite a few competition cars here this weekend.
And that's another pair coming round now. That's Bob Batt in the Journey's Edge sponsored Alien, Black Man, and Mo Blackburn with the 351 cubic inch Ford, Cleveland powered rear engine rail. Mo at the moment sits in number 3 spot in our second eliminator Bob Batt. Came out this morning and finished quite a good time for a shakedown partner in 10.13, and that puts him in number 7 spot at the moment.
Well, yes indeed. Bob, of course, has run 8.5 seconds with this machine, 8.59. His best ever. This is the man closest to the grandstand, 148 miles per hour. So after the winter layoff, of course, everybody's trying to find their feet again on the dragster. This morning, the Steve was just saying 10.13 at 113, so there's a lot of scope there. He could well shove out one or two of these top drivers in this number 1 category. Mo Blackburn has run a best of 10.10.
Very hard away from the start line. Looks like he's been good time, and he got it back into the 9. He certainly has, and well into the 9. Good run for him. 9.30, 134 miles an hour. The crew happy with that one. That will move him up into number 2 spot behind Barry Giles. And for Mo Blackburn,
10.87 at 130 miles per hour. So places him in number 3 position in the second group of 8. And here comes Mick White once more. Mick White sitting on the top of the top 8 in this extended triple shooter rose car called Old Timer. And it does rather look as though we're getting the wet stuff down again. I don't know whether we'll